are present in the southern tip of the peninsula right from the time of Mauryans, because we have found the evidences, we have found the mention of these Cholas in Sangam literature, but it is only in the 8th, 9th and 10th century when the Chola power is actually becoming much more dominant in southern area. This is the Dravidian temple architecture, and this is the image of shore temple of Mahabalipuram. The shore temple of Mahabalipuram, again very important temple architecture of Dravidian type of, I would say, because why I am calling it a Dravidian style of temple architecture, you may look at the Shikara constructed here. Shikara is not steep, it is having some steps. That is why it is called Vimana. So one most important thing why I am calling it as the Dravidian temple architecture, because it is also having a water tank, which I told you, a very important constituent of Dravidian style of temple architecture. This temple was built during the reign of Pallava king, who is called as Narasimhavarman II. And this king is also known as Raj Simha in the history. This temple has 3 shrines in total. One shrine is the Shiva shrine, which is facing east. One shrine is called other Shiva shrine, which is facing west. And the middle shrine has been dedicated to Vishnu in Anantashaya pose. Anantashaya pose, where Vishnu is resting like this. This is called Anantashaya pose. The presence of 3 main shrines is very much unique as far as Dravidian temple architecture is concerned. Not only this, it is probable that shrines were not at all built at the same time, but they were added on later. Means this complex of 3 shrines is not possible that all these 3 shrines were constructed at the same time, but we get the evidences that later on they were extended. And also there is the evidence of a water reservoir and a gopuram. So when you have a water reservoir and a gopuram, things become clear in your mind that gopuram is only something which we have studied in Dravidian temple architectural style, because in that class I told you that a temple complex where the temple is constructed will have a splendid entry gate. Might be the temple is constructed in the middle of it, but you will get a temple or entry gate to the temple complex, and this entry gate is called Gopuram. So we have this presence of Gopuram, the Vimana kind of tower, and a water tank. All these are the reasons why we are calling this temple architecture as Dravidian. That is why I told you to take note of each and everything which I am explaining in the class. There are sculptures of Nandi Bull, Shiva Mount, means along the walls of temple, and there are several carvings as well. UPSC can ask you about this Anantashaya pose of Vishnu. Which shrine out of the 3 has been dedicated to Vishnu, and Vishnu in which pose? Anantashaya pose, the middle shrine, is dedicated to Vishnu. This is the 3 shrine unique concept of Dravidian temple architecture located at Mahabalipuram, the famous shore temple. Yes. Then we have another temple of the age, which is again a Dravidian temple architecture called Bridheshwara temple, and this Bridheshwara temple is located at Tanjore. So now I'll be discussing about Bridheshwara temple in detail, but before we go on to discuss Bridheshwara temple, do remember some details of Dravidian temple architecture. I told you that in the Dravidian type of architecture you do not have a plinth, or sorry, you do not have a raised platform. You have a plinth, but you do not have a raised platform over it. A raised platform over it on which a temple will be constructed. Because a raised platform over the plinth is the concept of Nagara. but it is not the concept of Dravida. Because in the Nagara kind of temples, we have a staircase, a full staircase which is leading to the entry of the temple, but in all the Dravidian kind of temples, you will not find such things. Yes, Shiva temple. It is a Shiva temple which is called Bridheshwara temple, and this Bridheshwara temple is also called Raja Rajeshwara temple. This temple got completed in the year 1009, built by Chola dynasty and the most important king of Chola, Raj Chola. This is the largest and tallest temple of all the Indian temples. Chola temple is even bigger than any of the previous Pallava, Chalukya or Pandyan structures. More than 100 temples of Chola period are preserved. A lot of temples were constructed during Chola period, because we know that Cholas, who are present in the southern tip of the peninsula right from the time of Mauryans, because we have found the evidences, we have found the mention of these Cholas in Sangam literature, but it is only in the 8th, 9th and 10th century when the Chola power is actually becoming much more dominant in southern area or in the southern region. We also know that it is during the Chola period when an extended relation was being maintained between India and the Southeast Asia. This temple is a pyramidical temple having multi-story, and Vimana, this Vimana of the temple is almost 70 meters high. One of the tallest Vimana and the most tallest Vimana of all the Indian temple. The Shikara is a dome-shaped octagonal stupika. It has two large elaborately sculptured gopuras. There are two gopurams. On the Shikara, there are large Nandi bull images. The Kailash and the Kalash on the top. This is the Kalash, and where there is, I have written a Shikara here. The Shikara is just the tower. This is the Shikara, and this is a dome-like structure on the above, which is called Amlaka. And Amlaka is the word used for Nagara type of architecture, and that is why I told you that in Dravida, Amlaka is not constructed. In Dravida kind of structure, you have a cup-like Amlaka, which is much more broad. That is why they are called something which is octagonal stupika. It has two large, means on it we have two large elaborately constructed gopuras, and on the Shikara we have large Nandi bull images. On this Shikara and the complete Shikara here, from the top to the bottom, we have the sculptures, we have the carvings showing Nandi bull. The Kalash on the top of this Vimana is about 3 meter and 8 centimeter tall. Not only this, but there are hundreds of figures on the Vimana. Many might have been added later on during the Maratha period. Yes, the main deity of this temple is Shiva, which is portrayed as a huge lingam set in a double-storied centum. The surrounding walls of the centum are adorned with painted murals and sculptures of mythological stories. This is the great Raja Rajeshwar or Bridheshwara temple of Tanjore. Very important. And then we have the architecture in the Deccan part of India, a hybridized style which is mixing the elements of both Nagara and Dravida, means Vesara, something which emerged as a distinct style during the middle of 7th century in the regions like Karnataka. We have found in Karnataka the Vesara style of temple architecture which combines both Nagara and Dravida. This is referred as Vesara. We have already studied about Vesara. Some of the temples are either completely Nagara or some of the temples are either completely Dravida, and some temples are constructed in both the styles as far as this Deccan part is concerned. The Kailashnath temple of Ellora. This is completely constructed in Dravida style. Main deity is Lord Shiva. There is also a shrine dedicated to Nandi bull. Vimana of Kailashnath temple is 30-meter high. Temple was carved out of a portion of a hill. Temple is grand and very much imposing, built during the Rashtrakuta phase at Ellora. We have already studied about it. Then we have Chalukyan architecture in much more detail. Although we have studied something about Chalukyas, important things about Chalukyas, now I am covering the whole of the Chalukyan architecture. The Western Chalukya kingdom, which was established by Pulkeshin I when he took the control of land around Badami in 543 AD. The early Western Chalukyas ruled this region till around 8th century. We have already studied it. Early activities are rock cut caves, while structural temples were also built on, means they were also built later on. The Ravana Pahadi cave at Aihole, very important structure. This is the important structure at this site where you have shown Shiva in the Nataraj form. The image is surrounded on the right by 4 large Saptamatrikas and on the left by 3 large Saptamatrikas. The figures have slim, graceful bodies. They have long oval faces and they wear short pleated dhotis and tall cylindrical crowns. The distinct feature of Chalukyan architecture is mixing and incorporation of several temple styles. That is why we call it that at Chalukyan architecture, most of the temples were constructed in Vesara, because you combined Nagara and Dravida. For example, the temples at Pattadakal I told you, a UNESCO heritage site. This Pattadakal consists of 10 temples in total, out of which 4 temples are constructed in completely Dravidian style, 4 temples are completed in Nagara style, 1 temple is a fusion of both, and 1 temple is a Jain temple. So Pattadakal site is showing 3 forms of temple architecture at one place. At one place, you can study all the 3 major temple architectural forms, that is Pattadakal at Karnataka, constructed during Chalukyas. We have already studied it in the previous slides. Jain Narayana temple, it was also built by Rashtrakutas in 9th century. Virupaksha temple, built by the chief queen of Chalukyan king Vikramaditya II. Loka Mahadevi is a best example of Dravidian style. We also found a Durga temple at the site called Aihole.